Let's go.
Hey guys, Ricky Simigli over here. It's my buddy Jose Gonzalez. We're going to be going over a basic slicing pass today, and almost all the techniques, if not every technique that I show, I always try to emphasize a lot about frames. I feel like frames are very neglected in Jiu-Jitsu. So we're going to be talking about the frames and how to successfully do a slicing pass, and it's not just the pass, but it's establishing the side control. So we're going to talk about that right now. My partner's going to get on his back. So even when we start, we have to identify frames. Like, what frames can he get? He can get the shield, okay, which is very common. His hands are always frames, you know. And when I say frames, I'm talking about maintaining distance. He's not pushing, he's not bending his arms, he's just not letting me get any closer to him over here. And then if I start to push towards the frames, here's where he can start escaping his hips, shrimping, and then start getting a better guard for him. So I never want to push towards his frames. So first and foremost, I always try to make sure he doesn't engage in the shield. So whether I'm standing up, I always try to make sure I block the shield over here. And now I have to worry about this, okay? But if I slice and he still has his frames, he's always gonna be able to recover guard because I'm always pushing towards his frame here, right? So if he's maintaining distance, I can't just muscle through him. And sometimes people get it. Sometimes people slice, they muscle, they get side control, they go, yeah, I got a good pass, but it's actually just bad habits. We gotta find a way to pass without letting him frame or getting rid of his frames, better said. So we come a little closer. So I'm coming for the slice. Over here, I'm identifying the frames that he has. He has hand on my knee over here, so I don't want to push. He has a hand up here, so I don't want to push. So just very basic way of getting this top frame out. It's not going to work all the time, but we're going to be discussing other options. Is we're going to look for an underhook. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to underhook. But a lot of times people come here and they start to pass immediately, but the person recovers his frame on top. So they get very aggressive, they start trying to go to cross body, but since I'm pushing on his frame, now he has the ability to shrimp away. So when he shrimps and he gets that bottom knee inside, now he has an extra frame, and I'm always gonna be getting pushed back into the guard. So to address that, we're going to be slicing. He's gonna be establishing his frames. I gotta pay attention. I come here, I get my underhook, and before he goes and gets that frame again, I'm just gonna hide my head. I'm just gonna keep my head down here. So if you can come over here. So now, once I'm keeping my head down here, number one, I'm preventing him from looking towards me, which in turn is preventing him from getting his back off the ground, which means he can't shrimp. So he's also going to be trying to reestablish that frame, and I'm just going to be hiding it. I'm not going to let him get it, right? So now the only frame I really have to worry about is this one. So I usually like to cup underneath the elbow, but I'm going to slice around the frame. And this will make more sense in a little, but I don't want to push towards the frame. So a lot of people, they slice and they push towards the frame, but this is what's going to help him get his back off the ground. And now I'm always going to be feeling like I can't establish side control, right? So once I hide my head over here, I drop my case of position, and now I have to pay attention to this arm. If he's being a little lazy, he's gonna give the arm to me, and that happens a lot. Sometimes I have to find a way to get this arm off the ground, never using muscle technique, but today we're gonna talk about the guy being a little lazy with his arm. So he picks it up and he opens his gap. So from here, once I open the gap, I'm gonna close so he can't drop his elbow to the floor, and I'm gonna take a step over here, right? And the purpose of that step is so I can get my opposite hip under his elbow. And a lot of times here, again, people try to go to cross body, but in the process of going to cross body, the person jams his elbow inside, and now he has a frame, which means he's gonna possibly recover guard again. So to prevent that, what I do is once I step, I put a poster right here on his shoulder, over here, so that he can't walk backwards. And now what I do is I open his elbow with my body right here, boom, right? So right now, once I get that frame out of the way, now to establish, I gotta find a way to make it very tight over here for him. So what I like to do a lot is I like to grab under the armpit on the opposite side and I pull him towards me. I don't push forward because here he will be able to roll and then I'm gonna have to catch my base. I just pull towards me here. So now when I pull towards me, he's gonna have trouble jamming that in. Try to jam that in, Jose. He can't do it. So now it's gonna be an appropriate time to go to cross body. And now I'm controlling a very good side control. Why? Because he doesn't have any frames. Right, he's gonna be trying to get this one, but I'm gonna be hiding my head. If he gets loose, then I can start looking to control his body in different ways, right? So again, we just come here for the slice. I pay attention to where his frames are at. I address the frames. His frames are gonna be strong over here. He's not letting me get any closer. I'm going to get rid of the top. I'm gonna hide my head so he can't reestablish the frame. I'm gonna pay attention to this frame on the bottom. If he's being lazy with the arm, I'm gonna hide my knee underneath so he can't drop the elbow, and I'm gonna take a step. I don't wanna go straight to cross body, so I'm gonna put my post here. I'm gonna open, I can grab under, or you can even put your elbow over and just make sure you're pushing your elbow back. But my whole idea is that he doesn't get that frame inside. And once I'm here, now I'm establishing a nice crossbody where he doesn't have any frames. And then we can capitalize from there, right? So again, guys, most of the techniques I teach, I always talk about frames. I think frames are very, very important in jiu-jitsu. It helps me better understand my passing, my escaping, my submissions. So I hope you guys like it, and we'll be putting up more videos soon. Take care, guys. Os.